Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Headmaster's Homeroom, Sunday Solutions. I am Lady Hamilton. It's so great to be with you all this morning. So, welcome. I hope you're having a blessed Sunday. Let's get right to it. I just want to put a good morning out to everybody in the chat, if I could spell it right. Very good. There we go. Good morning, everyone. So it's so nice to be with you. I love my shows, especially love Sundays because I love to start it out with our children's prayer and our scriptures. So let's get to it. We're going to use one of my favorites. You guys should know how much I really love this one. Let's hope that YouTube is kind to us today and lets us play them. But I love this little voice prayer. So here we go. Let's add it to our stream. All right. Father God, we thank you for this food. We ask you to bless it. Make it nourishment to our bodies. Bless all the boys and girls all over the world to receive food in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. I love that. Oh, I just absolutely love that. So I always will include these links into my Rumble channel below so that you guys can find that. But I love to hear children pray and sing. I love to hear anybody pray and sing, but especially children, right? I just think their voices are just so sweet and pure. I love to hear that. So let's just jump right into our scriptures today. Let me get that one loaded for everyone. Add that to our stream. I'm going to put this a little larger so you guys can just see that. Not necessarily me. All right. So here are our scriptures for the day. Isaiah 51:3. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. The next one is Deuteronomy 11:10. The land you are entering to take over is not like the land of Egypt, from which you have come, where you planted your seed and irrigated it by foot as in a vegetable garden. Jeremiah 29:5. Build houses and live in them, and plant gardens and eat their produce. And the last one is Isaiah 61:11. For as the earth brings forth its sprouts, as a garden causes the things sown in it to spring up, so the Lord God will cause righteousness and praise to spring up before all the nations. I really love Isaiah as well. It's one of my favorites. But I really am going with this Jeremiah 29:5 today. Build houses and live in them, and plant gardens and eat their produce. Okay, I'm going to put that on for that later. Let's just remove that for now. So we're talking gardenings today and salad dressings today. So I'm excited to share this stuff with you. And I am going to give you a little update on my garden. Let's present that here and share the screen for that. I hope you guys are all doing well with your gardens. So let's add that, and hopefully we can see a picture. I'll tell you, I am learning a lot. Oh, I think we lost that, so I'm going to have to, hold on, everyone. I'm going to have to reload that. Can we remove that? All right, come on, remove that. There we go. I'm back. Let's just get these pictures up. Every once in a while, I have to reboot. Gotta love it. Thank you, Google. Thank you. I don't often use Google, but when you're on StreamYard, you have to use Google. So there we go. All right. Hey, it's working. So I have told you guys that we have planted so many different things, and I started originally with planting actually in the ground. And I'll talk to you about that because some things are working and some things are not. And so here, spring onions and lettuce, and you can see I'm about ready to be able to pick a head of lettuce. I'm so excited about that. It's looking so beautiful. These are my tomatoes, and they started from seed. I've showed you guys that too, how to start stuff from seed. And I replanted them into 1 gallons, and now they're all in 5 gallons. And just whatever I can find and use around the house. And you can see we're putting them up towards our fence to give them support as they grow out of the greenhouse and into the yard. You can see originally I had plants here, and yeah, we got a few things growing, which again, like I said, I'm really surprised. My strawberries looking absolutely beautiful. I've been able to have some of those already. And then here are my green beans and peas that are growing, and we just find anything we can use. Um, and you can see even from the picture with the tomatoes, you can see tires in the background. I used tires, and I've got potatoes, watermelon, cantaloupe, butternut squash growing out of each of these, and they are doing phenomenal. So it's very exciting to be able to just kind of use what you can find. The lettuce that you saw was in some old bathtubs that were used for previously for horses that were at the property before we bought it for the water containers, and we just decided to use them to see how they would work for gardening. They're probably some of my best planters. But I tried really hard to even till our ground and pull out all the rocks, and we worked like I think over a month on just trying to prepare an area. And it, and then put in compost and till that in, and me and my kids worked really hard on that. And we still found that the clay, the dirt that we have is just so thick with clay that we were having major problems growing some vegetables. And everything was looking great until we had this frost. And I just came out of nowhere and killed all of my tomatoes. Luckily I had backup ones going because I really love to can my tomatoes and make sauces and so forth. So I had backup ones ready to go, but I mean, the ones I planted were all killed, and a lot of plants are not doing so well in the soil, even though with the compost. So we went to above ground and just kind of found, all right, we have tires left over from the property, that we didn't necessarily know what we were going to do besides, recycle them or take them in, but, we decided to clean them and use them. And my potatoes especially love it and love the heat that bounce off and radiate from the tires. So that's a great way to use those and repurpose those. Also, like I said, we found, we got the 5 gallon buckets that we're using. My husband found these gardening bags, which I've showed you, and I can show you again, which are really awesome. And you can use them over and over again. But you can go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get 5 gallon buckets and just drill some holes and reuse them every year. That's what I'm doing now for a lot of my stuff. So, and I'm really surprised. I'm excited. Everything's growing really well. So, and I've just replanted them from like 1 gallons to 3 gallons to 5 gallons, and 5 gallons is where they're going to stay for the rest of the summer. And I got my first tomato yesterday, so I was really excited about that. And water, 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 everyone. But they are doing great. So whatever works for you, I hope that this is trial and error, right? I'm not a master gardener. I'm just so excited that I'm actually growing this. I mean, I remember doing this when I was little. But again, I'm not a master gardener, so I'm hoping that I'm sharing this with you. If it doesn't work, try something different. Be creative. You can grow things out of milk jugs. I even saw one, and I'm going to share a book here with you guys too. I saw one where somebody literally cut open, when you go buy topsoil or gardening soil, the bag that's actually, that the topsoil comes in, they just cut out a long rectangle out of the top, and they literally planted the plants in there. And I was thinking like lettuce or something that's just barely topsoil would do really well in something like that. How ingenious, just for using the bag that the topsoil came in. I am going to be working on something because I found this great book on winter gardening, and I want to have a garden all year long. As you guys, if you've seen my show before, I've talked about organically eating and how much it's truly saved my personal body. And it's really, been besides, like I said, I always give credit to the Father above, but also this organic local eating. Truly, I just cannot fight off the pesticides and the chemicals that they're putting in preserving our food with anymore, or spraying our food with, or whatever. So to have local people and grow my own, it's just completely changed my life. Out of a wheelchair, literally, So I've been walking around and doing everything like almost normal. I do have some times and days where I still use a walker or a cane, but they're so limited that you know I'm so thankful, and this is due to changing my diet, finding out what works for me, finding out, I love that. And my husband's slogan is "Let thy food be thy medicine." I just drew that on his graduation cap when he graduated. He just graduated with his master's in natural medicines and pharmacology. So kudos to him. I am so proud of him, but that's our slogan. And he just really believes that God provides great food and medicine. Have you ever seen Nurse Patrick on? Boy, does he talk about different foods that will help us with different ailments. He loves, as much as I do, loves honey. Oh my gosh, loves honey. As he calls it, God's favorite food in medicine. So I'm very excited that that's changed my world. So, guys, and also being out gardening too just gives you that sense of being connected with nature. Being able to provide for yourself, being out in the sunlight, which we all need the vitamin D. So get out, try it. Even if you're just growing an herb garden, which I've mentioned before, which you can grow in your windowsills. Last week we talked about drying herbs, and I just put them in bunches and I hang them off a hanger. And I can't tell you how humid it is here right now, but yet my herbs are drying so well, and I'm excited about that because they're almost dry and ready to be broken down and saved for later. So if you're just even growing your own herbs for cooking and stuff, I highly recommend that you start somewhere. And so that's what I'm doing, and I'm learning. I'm happy to share with every one of you. So today, um, now that you've seen my beautiful garden, I thought before we get into our cooking project, and like I said, Google's not necessarily being my friend, but I have before this little part we're going to kind of watch on my phone, and I hope it works. I'm going to be able to play it for you, but we're going to just figure out other ways. And this is what I do at my school too. One thing's not working, we're going to figure out another way, but we are going to make this amazing jalapeno dressing here later. But I want to also share with you, again, hopefully YouTube is our friend today. And speaking of how much I love children and children singing, we had just something happen in our nation that just broke my heart, because you guys, if you've seen this, especially last week, you guys know how much I love our nation. Not only with my husband's side being from founding fathers, but having retired military parents, so watching them go off to wars, watching us be able to celebrate. I miss those, our town parades, and just having this sense of national pride. And we just saw, and if you haven't seen this, there were kids that were singing, and I'm going to get this, our national anthem in our U.S. Senate House, right, Congress House, at the Capitol, and we're told to stop halfway through. And these kids sound so beautiful. It just brought me to tears just to even listen to how beautiful their voices were, and how devastating this was, that this might have been considered hate speech. I'm sorry. And this is at our our nation's capital. So I'm going to play you this video of them, and I'm sorry that they were cut off, but you get to see it for yourself. But they do sound beautiful. All right, here you go. Isn't that unbelievable? I don't know when our national anthem became so hated. I just encourage you to go visit another country. I know that I have. I went and lived in Cuba with families, for over almost 3 months. I've been to South Africa. I've been to Australia, which blew my mind even, with what they feel and what they have, I've been to Ethiopia. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Canada, and almost 50 states here. I'll tell you, especially when I came back from Cuba, and I have a really great guest coming on, that we found this similar relationship next Friday. But when you go live in a country, and they still had pride, whether they had to have it or not, it's always kind of a debate right there. But when you actually see what another country, a socialistic or communistic country, has, I've never been so happy to come home and have the freedoms we have here. I even talk about, even if you don't believe in God, you have that freedom here. Some countries you're mandated to believe in a certain religion. You don't have freedom of religions. And it's just unbelievable that our national anthem would be cut off at our capital, especially with children singing, because it might offend somebody. I'm sorry. They were absolutely beautiful. And I hope that they know that. They're just absolutely beautiful. And I love to hear children sing. So I just want us to know that, we need to change that. We need to bring this beautiful sense of hope and togetherness and celebrate the wonderfulness of our country. And we got to do this together. So as I think about this, and I was thinking about us doing this together, right? Because whether you believe in what I believe or you don't believe in what I believe, right, good or bad, you still have that freedom. You have that freedom to speak what you want to. You have that freedom to celebrate what you want to. And that's a great thing about our country, is that we have the opportunity to disagree, have those conversations, and together build a wonderful nation of freedom. So again, whether you think people are radical on one side or radical on the other side, the fact that you just get to exist and have those freedoms to disagree, remember that our forefathers gave that to us so that we could be a nation of the people. And together we got to remember that. We've got to remember that. So I found another video. Thank you. I would thank the creator for inspiring me to find this. I found this beautiful video that talks about together. And this is going to be another one out of the mouths of children. So here we go. Let me get that loaded up for everyone. All right, here we go. YouTube seems to be working really nice. Thank you, YouTube. Get rid of the commercial.
Hack your website right now.
Come on, YouTube, you can do it.
This is for the busted hearts. This is for the question marks. This is for the outcast soul, lost control, no one knows. Sing it for the can't go back. Sing it for the broken past. Sing it for the just found now. Life is now upside down. If you're looking for hope tonight, raise your hand. If you're feeling alone and don't understand, and if you're fighting in the fight of your life, then stand. And we're gonna make it through this hand in hand. If we will fall together. Together, oh, we will rise. We will rise together. We will rise together. Together, we will rise together. Listen.
How great is that? That song is for Kings and Country, which is a Christian would you say pop group or whatever. I love them. I really think for Kings and Country is one of my favorites. But kudos, I just love that those kids in that choir went to a major show and was able to sing that. And how beautiful is that? That song is called Together. Excuse me, everyone. I know allergies still, and I don't know how long. I guess I'm gonna have them all summer long. God moved me to a paradise, but allergic. I always joke maybe I'm allergic to it. But my tea with my beautiful honey. You guys know how much I love our honey. Hold on one second. There we go. Much better. So, anyway, speaking of wonderful honey, there's no better time. Talk about how wonderful our honey is. So this is from Be Nourished, right? And this is one of our sponsors. Look how beautiful. This is the honey we're going to be using today for our dressing. Again, this is their raw honey, just absolutely gorgeous. And you could get that and also get 22% off if you use the code Liberty. So please, that's a great way to help us out and have some of just the world's best honey. And there is just, I'm telling you, I've tried some great honey. And I do love local honeys as well, but this is just some amazing honey. So please check it out. And let me introduce you to Be Nourished.
Honey. It's one of the greatest gifts to man. With millions of wildflowers in every bottle, the nourishing power of honey is still yet to be fully discovered. Be Nourished Healing Products combines healing ingredients from around the planet to the purest honey from the island of Maui to bring magic to your taste buds. The best honey from the most beautiful place to nourish your body, mind, and soul. From our hearts to yours, be nourished.
All right, and we're back. So I have like I said, we're going to be doing some wonderful dressings. I think it was 2 weeks ago. If you want to check out my video, then we did a quick little balsamic recipe, right? The balsamic dressing recipe, super easy. And I also, like I said, I post the recipe underneath my Rumble channel. I post the links for the show under my Rumble channel, and so you can find those there if everyone wants to go look. Unfortunately, we're having a problem with Rumble. I'm sorry. We'll get that loaded up to Rumble, and I will post those links as soon as I can. But you can find me also on all different social medias. Just look for Lady Hamilton Art. Maybe I'll even post those links under it because I'll do it on Twitter. Again, True Social, I could do that as well too. So, but normally I put these under Rumble. But again, I don't know why. Sometimes we have problems streaming on Rumble, and sometimes we don't. So hopefully we'll get that fixed and get that uploaded to you guys today. So besides my Rumble people, sorry, I'm so glad that everyone else is with me today. If you say good morning, I'm checking the chats. Good morning to everyone. And I'm always thankful for my viewers. Another way to greatly help us out is to hit the like buttons, making sure you're following our channel at Liberty Arise, also sharing this out. That really helps us out. I really appreciate that. We really appreciate that because we're just doing this as a service. You guys know me, especially on Fridays, where I promote other businesses and people around the nation who are doing different things in their communities. Collaborations are going on. I have some amazing guests that I have on, whether they are creating, they're authors or they're running for office or they're creating beautiful artwork. It's all about promoting others on Friday nights because I think our news needs to do a better job of showing what we actually are doing in our communities instead of just screaming at us to do that. So again, I'm going to say a thank you to my wonderful producers for giving me this ability to have Friday and Sunday shows. Where Fridays I can celebrate our wonderful guests around the nation. And then Sundays I ask for a show so I could actually teach you how to do a few things. Since I originally started out with wanting to teach you how to do certain things, But I got so many guests. I've met so many great people from around the world. I just really wanted to start celebrating them as well. So we got Sunday Solutions, which I love and I'm very thankful for because it can have my spiritual aspect to it as well as we pray and we bring scriptures to you every Sunday. So that's making me happy. So I told you the first part of this recipe, and let me present that so you can even see the ingredients here, everyone. Let's get it. It's a blueberry jalapeno dressing that I just make up myself. I have to actually think, let's get me in there. I have to actually think of how to do this or write this, and I'm trying to find the best. Wait, there we go, for you guys to see. There we go. So this is something I just come up with, and you can just really, especially when it comes to vinaigrettes, you can play around and do things that you may want to do, you may want to add, you may not like certain things. You can just play, and come up with your own. But dressings are so simple, and I think sometimes we think that they're harder than they actually are. So I just made this one up. This is one of, I guess, my creations. And you can use blueberry or raspberry, and it really depends on what you have in season, and you would do this definitely different. As you can see, when we cooked our blueberries and our jalapenos. With raspberries, you would not need to cook them, of course. But blueberries, there's something about that, and cranberries that when you cook them and saute them, they burst open and they get a little thickness to them that I really, really love. So this is why it's a little different with blueberries than it would be with raspberries per se. Okay, just pointing that out to you. So I made a video of me sauteing so you could see deseeding and sauteing the jalapenos and cooking the blueberries. But when I try to email that to myself today, Google is having major issues. So that's why I said you might have to just watch it on my phone here. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to change my camera. And hopefully we can see my phone. Beautiful. Okay. So we're going to move that a little bit back. If anybody gets a little sick, sorry about that. We're just going to adjust this. So this is a little 4-minute video. And like I said, hopefully you get to see deseeding and doing jalapenos. All right. So we're going to be adding about a tablespoon of butter to our pan here. If I can get that butter off. There we go. All right. Now, the important thing about cutting jalapenos is you want to deseed them. If you take out the seeds, then you lose the heat and you still get the wonderful flavor. So I am going to cut around the bulk of this jalapeno here. Make sure to get rid of all these seeds. Maybe. There's one. Because I don't want to cut the other one with the seeds. You're going to need 2. And you can kind of cut some of this membrane off and get these seeds out. One thing about cooking jalapeno is when you deseed it and roast them first, you get this beautiful taste. It sweetens the jalapeno, and there's nothing, to me, there's nothing. I mean, you might do this fresh, and that's okay, but I love roasted jalapeno. We're just going to put that in there. Roast it in some butter. And pick up that beautiful flavor, and also bring out the sweetness. for a few minutes, and then we're going to add our blueberries to them. And then you're going to let that cool. Okay. Let that cool before you put it into the dressing. So you have a nice, cool temperature jalapeno and blueberries. This doesn't take very long. You don't need to saute until they're golden brown. You can if you want to and make them softer, but we're just trying to wake up those flavors. And by sauteing it for a few minutes, you're really going to release those oils and those flavors. Our blueberries, while those are cooking, we're going to use about a half pint of blueberries. We're going to roast those right with those jalapenos. Do this for a few minutes, take it off the heat, put them aside, let them cool, and you are ready for your dressing. All right, everyone, let's get my camera. You can see I have my ingredients here, but I want to get my camera set to talk to you about that here. So you can absolutely use fresh jalapenos. You can absolutely add the seeds to it if you want a little bit more heat to it. I just like a sweeter jalapeno. So this is why I cut them, saute them in a little butter, and remove the seeds, because it really does. If you don't like a lot of heat in your household, that's amazing how much different it tastes if you take out the seeds of your jalapeno and just roast them. And I love it even when you're doing like herbs and things like that. If you can roast them a little bit and release those oils, jalapenos, again, like I said in the video, and hopefully you guys could hear that okay and see it okay. But by just sauteing them a little bit with butter first, you just release these beautiful flavors to them. So I'm going to switch and show you the rest of the recipe now. And again, sorry about that little video on my phone, but of course, I've tried like over 10 times to get that to email to me today, and Google was just not having it. So hopefully you guys saw that a little bit. But the main point was that to just show you how to make sure you seed them. You just dice them up, cook them, and saute them with a little butter. Add your blueberries to it, and like I said, with raspberries, you don't have to do that. But blueberries and cranberries, if you're ever using them, and you just cook them with a little water, and you saute them, they burst open and they thicken, and it's just amazing. I love that. So I'm going to show you what that looks like here in just a minute as I change cameras. So let's do that again. Let me switch that over. All right, everyone, I'm going to move this back a little bit so you can just see what we've got going on here. All right, this are these beautiful blueberries and jalapenos that we sauteed, and they've cooled off, and they're just sitting here on the side. We have our wonderful honey from Be Nourished. Love it. But you can use that. And thank you, everyone, if you do. Again, right, don't forget your code, Liberty. Garlic. We've got garlic here. Salt. Some apple cider vinegar. Okay, we have lemon. You can use fresh lemon. This is just lemon juice right here. Olive oil here in the back. And that's the simple ingredients that you need. This is really not hard at all. And it's an amazing taste. One of the favorite things, when my husband and I met, we would go to a certain restaurant that would serve chicken wraps and would use a jalapeno dressing in them. And I just fell in love with it. And ever since then, I've been figuring out ways to make this in different aspects. Again, love the raspberry one. You could do it without the blueberries and just have jalapeno by itself. But there's something about the sweet and spicy that I really love together. All right. So I have got to click open this so I can see what we're doing here. We've got our processor. Super easy. And we're going to throw our jalapenos, make sure this is in here, our jalapeno and blueberry mixture in there. And I'm just looking at what we need here. I get really bad about following recipes because I just make these on my own. So I have to go back and write down what I've written down. So we've got a teaspoon of garlic. Now that's depending on whether you like garlic or not. Some people love it. You could add a little bit more. Some people hate it. You don't have to add that at all. I'm going to put in our lemon juice, which is 1/4 of a cup. You can use fresh squeezed lemons. That's one thing I miss from Arizona, always having some of the best lemon around. I'd love that. Or I guess you would have the same in Florida, probably, somewhere where it's more hot and tropical. But Arizona, oranges and lemons are awesome. All right, we have that, and then we are going to add our honey. 2 tablespoons of our wonderful honey from Be Nourished. It's going to go right into there. And I'm actually just going to sit that on there so it drains. I want to make sure I get, I want to make sure. I don't like to ruin and waste this honey. So actually, I'm probably just going to eat it. It will continue to help me with my allergies. So we have that. Our vinegar next. And that is just going to be 1 tablespoon of vinegar. See, I'm doing really well with the measuring, keeping all of this great. We're going to do 1 teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon, of salt. You could do a pinch of salt. You know, you just don't want it powerful with the salt. Our food already has salt in it, so you don't need a whole lot of salt. We're going to move that over. We're going to add our olive oil. Right, so that's going to be 1/2 cup of olive oil. But I'm going to save that. I don't want to add that right now. I'll show you why. I like to mix, like I said with the balsamic too, I like to mix the ingredients first. And I am going to eat this honey. Oh, man, that's so good. Thank you, Be Nourished. Cilantro. I love cilantro. Now, my husband's not a huge fan of cilantro. This is why I said you could alter your recipe depending. That calls for 1/4 cup of cilantro. You want to make sure I just kind of dice it, even though it's going to get pureed. Cut it, dice it, add it right to it. Now, again, my husband doesn't love cilantro. If you like cilantro, I mean, he likes it, just not a lot of it. So if you do love cilantro, you can always add a little bit more. Like I said, this is really kind of a just taste it, add what you like, okay? Now, the reason I start without the oil is I really want to puree those vegetables and herbs together and really get the jalapeno and the blueberry and the garlic blended really well together first. So, voila, we're just going to hit puree. Okay, not working. I'm going to have this kind of day. Oh, that's why. All right, here we go. You really want that blended well. I don't like a whole lot of chunks in my dressing. Of course, unless I'm making like a blue cheese or something. So I already have the olive oil. And I'm just going to open up my lid here and add my olive oil to the top. Love my processor. Love, love, love. making sure that it's all blended really well, pureed really well. Looks like we're doing really great here. And you can put this in your fridge. You can save this for a good week or so. I would highly suggest, though, look at that beautiful color. I would highly suggest, though, that you re-blend it before you're using it. Make sure everything's blended together. We're going to put this right here so everyone can see. Look at that. Just a beautiful, beautiful color. And you have another vinaigrette that you could just toss some beautiful salad with. You could add this again, like I said, when my husband and I met, they had a jalapeno dressing that was just basically jalapeno. You don't have to add the berries if you just want a basic jalapeno dressing. Just omit the berries, omit any kind of that. You would have just jalapeno dressing, but I like the sweet and sour of this. And as you can see, it's a little chunky, but not a lot, and that's mainly due to the garlic, believe it or not. I don't know why that doesn't like to break down, but as you can see, it's just gorgeous. Oh, phenomenal tasting, fresh. It just tastes so good. And it's so super simple, and all you gotta do is throw it in something and put it away and use it as needed. And you can see how much that makes. It makes about a cup of dressing when you're finished. And again, you could alter this, like I said. Let me change my camera so I can talk to you guys. There we go. You can alter this as you need to, whether you want to add the berries or not. Or jalapeno, you might even try this without even the jalapeno and just add the berries by themselves. And then all of a sudden you have a blueberry vinaigrette or a raspberry vinaigrette. You can make a cherry vinaigrette. I mean, just strawberry vinaigrette. And then you just omit the jalapenos. You can do it, like I said, the other way, where you omit the berries and just add the jalapenos and have a jalapeno vinaigrette. But there's so many ways that you can substitute stuff, but it's really simple to make fresh dressings, that are healthy for us. No preservatives. You got the amazing honey in it, right? And there's a whole bunch of different alterations. We did, like I said, balsamic last time, so you can go look that up. I believe that was 2 Sundays ago. So go and look that up as well. And these are just so great. And I encourage you guys to, start getting a little creative. See what you can come up with. My kids didn't really like dressings at all until I really started bringing them and making my own. I did this at my own restaurant, but I started getting into different vinaigrettes more, and I loved it. And I do. I make as much as I can from scratch, as I've told you before, all about organic living this household. And I go through honey like crazy, and I do support my local people as well, because local honey, as much as I love Be Nourished, and they're amazing, if you got real problems with allergies, one of the things my husband has told me, if you eat local honey, because of the flowers that are growing in your own area, that will really help you with your allergies too. So I try to make sure I incorporate that. And I'm also supporting my locals. As also I'm supporting Be Nourished products, because there are some honeys that I cannot find. And I'll tell you what, I told you that turmeric one is unbelievable with inflammation. It has helped with my dogs, as we've made medications. I guess you could say medications, but natural alternatives. When my dog had an issue with cranberries, apple cider vinegar, and honey, the turmeric honey, it was unbelievable how much that helped her. And I could eat it too. So, there's another thing as well. So I'm hoping that I'm bringing you guys different solutions. I love gardening. I love going out and being in the sunlight, being with nature. I encourage you to do so. Get in touch with nature, right? Try stuff for yourself. If you've got different kind of recipes or ideas, please post them in my chats. Please post them underneath our show links. I would love to hear if you've tried this and how did it work out. How did your family feel about it? Did they like it? And did you like it, right? Or if you have different ideas too, like I said, blueberry, raspberry, cherry, strawberry. There's so many alternatives, so maybe try an alternative. Please share that with us, because that would be amazing. And I'm loving how you guys are writing to me and so forth. It's making my day. It's really nice to hear your beautiful comments. And I appreciate those so much. I also appreciate your likes and your follows and shares. We really do. So I hope you guys learned something. I hope you're having fun with your gardens and doing these great things with your families. One thing on Friday's show, we talked about communities and doing things with communities. I had an amazing author of children books on, Leah. And I'll tell you something that we keep talking about, that different people have talked about with community gardens. I had another wonderful person on a few weeks back named Barb, who is an embroiderer, but yet she's doing something with her community, starting community gardens to teach the youth how to garden. It just was offered up her land, offered up her time. And I was like, how awesome is that to teach the youth how to garden, right? I know in school they always have little plants, but to have that follow through where they can see these things actually become something or learn how to do above ground or in ground gardening. If your community doesn't have it, I would say try to find out how to start something like that. We had that in Arizona, and it was one of the reasons that grad school came after me, is because the program I started in Arizona. And it wasn't so much about the gardening, it was about what, of course, I did with the youth. But giving back and teaching them skills, especially how to feed themselves, how to read, how to do math, I mean, these are crucial. And I was so excited because we did this program as an internship when I was at the U of A. And I had by the time I left and graduated, I had like 30 different teens, preteens and teens coming to this program who were not only learning how to garden in their community gardens, but also helping other families learn, and then built recycled material toys that kids could play with and ride on and whatever. I was just like, it was so much fun. And then the second part of that is we went to the libraries and we did a literacy program called We Read, and we had the teenagers reading to the younger kids. And this is a great thing that you could do. And I talked about this on Friday about our libraries. Our libraries love when we have events. I spoke to our local library, and they almost just fell out of their chair. They're like, you want to do this? And you want to do this for free? And I said, yeah. I mean, I really believe in our community. And if you want to bring your kids to help with their literacy as we read with them, or if you want to, they were so excited about the community garden idea that they're looking around the library that they might be able to have some area to put that in. And it might be too late to start some of this. We'll see. Maybe not. We can get some things that grow pretty fast. Lettuce happens to be one of them. But to teach the youth, they love that idea about teaching our youth how to garden. So they're looking, like I said, into their main library property to see if this is something that we could start, or conversating with other areas around downtown to see if they could also do something in collaboration. So just even an idea, it's something that you could do that might change your whole entire community. And they were extremely excited about that option. So just so just so I can keep talking to you about it, please use your libraries. They love to have the programs. They love to have the youth. If you're worried about what they're reading, go change it. I love that Kirk Cameron even has where he goes and has a reading program, right? So that is so simple to do. Or start an art program, or start a gardening program, or whatever your talent is, go share it. I love the saying of, that your talent is something that needs to be seen. Let that light shine and go share it with somebody else. My husband does something too, whether he's got his little business on the side, but he also goes to the library and does blood pressures, talks to people about their diets and medications, especially with our elderly population. He wants to make sure that they know what they need to do. A lot of times you don't have very much time with your doctor, and you get all these different medications, and he just gives them the time as a nurse. And I'm like, I love it. So there are amazing things you can do that just requires your time. Our libraries are a great outlet for that because they're free. And you can book a room, or you can talk to them about doing an event. Again, it's still free. If you do events with them, they'll post it on their calendars. They will publicize it, and hopefully your little event gets to be bigger and bigger. But I encourage you to do something with your communities, because when you serve, I promise you, you always leave feeling like you are the one that's been served. At least I do. And everyone I've ever spoken to feels the same way. that when you give, it's magically amazing that you're the one that leaves feeling like you are the one that's been served. It's such a wonderful feeling. And if you're concerned, it depends on, everyone needs to pick their personal hill, whatever you want to do. If you're worried about what kids are reading, then go read to them great books. Introduce to them classics, right? Um, Maybe even make a summer camp. Talk to your library even about that. A little summer camp where they have reading programs at the library and encourage them to read. You can have summer camps where you make a drama, right? Create some kind of skit or something from a book that you love. There's multiple things. You can always reach out to me again, Lady Hamilton Art, on all the social medias, right? And ask me, or tell me your idea, and I'll tell people, this came from so and so, and this is their idea. Or if you're like, hey, I have a thought. How would I make this work? I would love to speak with you and help you if I can. If you have a business or something you're doing in the community, reach out to me too, because I'd love to highlight you on my show on Fridays and let the nation know what you're doing, because not only does it help promote what you're doing, it also helps somebody else think about that. I always ask my guests, how do you do that? So that maybe somebody who's listening might be like, oh, I've always wanted to be an author, but never felt I could. Or I might be an artist and I never felt I could. I want to open a business, but I didn't know how. As me and my assistant have a show that we taught business plans. Sorry, everyone. I'll have to bring her back on, so we'll do business plans again, but that will be on a Sunday show as I teach you different things. But we'll absolutely do that again. I love to do this. I hope that I fill your Sundays with a little bit of hope and love, especially when it comes to our Father above and our beautiful Savior. Know that you're not alone and that you're loved, and that we live in a wonderful nation that gives you freedoms to have your voice, have your beliefs, right? To lift each other up. I don't think so many people understand that the more businesses we have, the more local things that we start. If we support each other, we're just building us up and lifting us up as a nation. And it's really important to have these things. I mean, sorry to Walmart and sorry to Amazon, but you know what? That's how they become powerhouses if you don't have these local things that we lift each other up. So I implore you to please go and support your local people. Help support us. I always say my producer who gives me this show, right, guys, it helps me come out to you guys. Buy him a coffee. There's this awesome site. It's like Buy Me a Coffee, and it's /Scott Adam. Make sure it's not with an S at the end, but Scott Adam. And that just helps. Just even buying that one coffee helps us to continue to bring you this wonderful platform and our wonderful shows that we have every single day now. Our producer Scott brings you the news on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5. And him and his beautiful wife have Around the Family Table on Saturdays at 7. And then we have two other hosts, Bernie and Tamara. Bernie's on Tuesdays and Tamara's on Thursdays. And then I get to have two shows, right? Well, thank you so much to Scott. But one, again, I get to just highlight who you are on Fridays. So if you've got a business or an event or you're running for office, you got something to say, please reach out. I'd love to have you on. And then again, if you're trying my recipes or you're doing gardening, post links, post chats, post whatever, let me know how you're doing things, because mine weren't working out at first. And then I found amazing ways to do above ground gardening, and it's working out so much better for me. But I'd like to hear what you guys do. If you've tried one of my recipes, if you made bread with me, or if you've done dressings with me, that is amazing. I'd love to see if you like them, if your family liked them, and I'm really enjoying your chats. So thank you so much for that, because you do make my day. All right, so I love to leave every one of my shows with a song, and it's usually from children, especially on Sundays. So I have a beautiful song for you guys today. And again, I thank you so much for being here with me. Please, again, don't forget to hit those like buttons up and give us a follow. If you want to reach out to me, again, it's Lady Hamilton Art at Twitter, Facebook, Truth, Getter. I mean, all these different platforms, I am there. And I would love to hear from you. I hope you have a truly blessed Sunday. I hope you spend time with your family and neighbors. And again, know that you are loved. And I will see you guys on Friday. This coming Friday, we have a wonderful artist, again, another artist and a teacher coming on, and I look forward to that. So make sure that you check me out on Friday at 7 p.m. as we talk about art and education. And then again next Sunday. Next Sunday I will not, chances are most likely will not be here. There's a fundraiser for my school that I'll be speaking at next Sunday. And it's an afternoon event. I am very excited and thankful for them for helping, bring awareness and help us find funding for our school. I'll tell you guys, I am not, the way I built this school, I am not funded by the government. I don't even try. That's why we charge tuition, but we're a nationwide online private school. I think I'll show you that real fast because our students make the best commercials. We're going to have to remake them because we're going under a new branding. And I can't wait to show that to you guys for sure. I was hoping to show you that today. And it's probably not going to be ready until tomorrow. So that's going to come out on the social media. But I will definitely show you on Friday our new website and the rebranding that this amazing artist has done for us. I'm going to have her hopefully come on so we can celebrate her. She's been a previous guest before, but I am excited to show you what she's done. But our students make great commercials in journalism class for us. And I love this. Again, I love to show them off. So if you want to know about us, it's HamiltonLibertyAcademy.com. If you want to donate and help our youth or families who maybe can't afford to come, you could do that at HamiltonLiberty.com/donations. You can also go to Cash App at Hamilton Liberty. And that would really help our school and the youth that we do have or the youth that want to come. And we can provide scholarships for them. So thank you so much for that. And it's not just only scholarships, it's microscopes. We have someone who's donated for microscopes this year, and he's done that for almost 3 years in a row. We're so thankful to him, and it helps our youth across the nation find a different alternative to what they're seeing in public schools, which just doesn't seem to be going away. I am thankful so much to the Father above for helping me and inspiring me to create a school, something I say that's definitely in his name. I don't care, again, your background. I don't care the color of your skin. I don't care if you're rich or poor. I truly believe all youth are possible. And it's, as an educator, it's our job to give them the foundations for them to go succeed in their dreams and their futures. And if they cannot read and if they cannot do math, and they don't know how to survive, they don't know how to even fill out forms or find FAFSAs or apply for grants and scholarships or even rent or a household budget, we brought it all back into the school as we have an integrated curriculum. We do actual project-based learning versus just testing to get those marks so you can get your funding. I am very excited and very, again, thankful to the Father in heaven for giving this ability to bring a nationwide online private school to you all. Something that parents can watch, be a part of, see the recordings, and see how their children are just thriving. So this will be our 3rd year, and it was the time for some rebranding. So I will be showing you guys that on my channel on Friday. But for today, let's just show you one of their commercials. Isn't that amazing? That was in one setting for one of our seniors, and I just love that. She did a great job. That is now our mascot. It's always been the stallion, but her image is now our image for our mascot, and the name's Liberty. So we're very, very happy to see that. And that was like a speed painting. She did that and recorded that in one session. An absolutely amazing and talented young lady. So thank you so much for that. Again, everyone, if you are interested in my school, please reach out to Hamilton Liberty Academy. And I look forward to hearing from you. And if not, keep fighting the fight with our education, because our kids are decades behind. And parents, we need to get involved and make sure that our kids get above those standards so that they can be productive, responsible, critical thinking young adults in their futures. Again, I'm so happy that you guys are here and that you are spending time with me on this beautiful Sunday morning. It's truly a pleasure. And I hope that you have a very blessed Sunday. And I will not see you next Sunday. So I apologize for that, but I will share my event as I can with you, but I will see you for sure Friday. I don't like to miss it. I might have a recorded message for you that I play next Sunday just to say hi. We'll see about that, but I will most likely not be live next Sunday. But I'll see what I can do about making a video for you so that you can have something special that we'll make together, another recipe or something I'll come up with, and we'll post that video. So again, have a beautiful Sunday. Let me add this to the stream as we listen to these beautiful children sing today. And I will see you next Friday at 7 p.m.
I can only imagine what it will be like when I walk. I can only imagine what my eyes see face is for me. And I find myself standing in the sun. I can only imagine when all I will do is forever worship you. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel when I dance for you, Jesus? Or in all of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Oh, surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in all of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Only imagine. Whoa. I can only imagine what my heart will feel. only imagine when all I will do is forever, forever worship you.